It's another rainy Sunday in the middle of the week. I'm stuck in a factory with a punch clock on my knees. But I'm in love with life. There can be no doubt. Just give me some time. I'll figure it out. And all them top dog babies with their perfumed prestige will have to catch a glory train to catch up with me. I'm making love with Jesus 24 hours a day. I can't wait till he comes back with my overtime pay. Tear down the churches. Build up the woods. Make trees from plastic and dreams that are good. He'll tear down the factories. Crucify the boss who makes me feel lonely and tells me that I'm lost. And I'll tell him it's great to finally be free. And he'll say, I've always been. And I'll have to say, well, hell, not me. But until that day, I'm still singing in the rain. People passing by thinking I'm insane, but I don't mind. I don't mind. I'm staying alive. Singing out loud even though I'm 65. But my heart is crying and you can't get a decent count. And you got to pay $40 for the 1/8 of an ounce that the policeman sells you while he's cussing you out, making me forget what Jesus was about. And that's the greatest sin of all the sins we're in, about how all our love's been frozen again. Except for those far underground below the line of frost who are hiding from the storm and trying not to get tossed. There's one now standing alone in the bar. He ain't dancing and drinking. He's dreaming of the stars. And he's checking out the ladies from behind 1,000 scars. But he ain't getting any because he ain't got no fancy car. Sing the blues like Dylan, only nobody's listening. They got them amplifiers strapped up to their ears. And they're keeping them cranked up so they can't hear their fears. Putting me down for getting out of there without them designer jeans or rings in my ears. I got a lot to say, but I got no career. I'm still trying to tell them the end is near. They can't wait for Jesus. Well, they got to build a better bomb to keep the whole damn world underneath their thumb. But the volcanoes are laughing because the people are so dumb, and the ozone is dying, but not the rising sun. They're still trying to put air in an aerosol can and death in a bottle you can cork up on the shelf. Because the image in the mirror is all they see of themselves. They've lost that spirit flame in their heart and they don't even know it's tearing them apart. And that's the biggest difference between us right from the start. I don't know. Has something to do with love and some elitist idea of art. But fuck all that. It'll never end. And paper's expensive. Well, my time's coming to an end, and I know if I tried, I could start something again, but like I said, nobody's listening. And it's an unoriginal sin. My name, it means nothing. My age, it means less. The country I come from is called the Midwest. I was born and brought up there, the law to abide. The land that I lived in had God on his side. The history books tell it, they tell it so well. The cavalry charged it, the Indians fell. The cavalry charged it, the Indians died. The country was young then, with God on its side. The Spanish-American War had its day. The Civil War too was so soon laid away. The names of the heroes I was taught to memorize, with guns in their hands and God on their side. World War I, while it came and it went, the reason for fighting, well, I never did get. But I learned to accept it, and accept it with pride. You don't count the dead when God's on your side. Now we got weapons of chemical dust. If use them we're forced to, well then use them we must. One push of the button and you'll shot the world wide. You don't ask no questions when God's on your side. In my dark hour, I've been thinking about this. They say Jesus Christ was betrayed by a kiss. Well, I can't think for you. You'll have to decide if Judas Iscariot had God on his side. Now that I'm leaving, I'm weary as hell. The feelings I'm feeling, why no tongue can tell. My words fall like dry leaves and lie on the floor. If God is on our side, He'll end the next war. Preachers still preaching about hate, death, and war. But I can't sit for those sermons anymore. Can't just remember half of what he said. Ain't no way to treat a man who's risen from the dead. In Jesus' name, what for? In Jesus' name, what for? In Jesus' holy name, what are we fighting for? What are we killing for? What are we dying for? What are we judging for? Man, he works from 9 to 5. His wife works too, and they can barely survive. Still, their sons are marching through foreign fields, reaping a harvest that never yields. In Jesus' name, what for? In Jesus' name, what for? In Jesus' holy name, what are we fighting for? What are we dying for? What are we hating for? What are we judging for? We fill our world with sinners without a chance in hell. Sell our souls in heaven for a price we never tell. Curse the fate we helped create and blame a wrathful God. Spoil divine love, but we never spare the rod. In Jesus' name, what for? In Jesus' name, damn it, what for? What are we fighting for? What are we dying for? What are we hating for? What are we judging for? When there's no seat at the marriage feast, because we forgot to heed the signs in the east. Sacred words warn us that Christ will come again. But when the door is locked against us, what will we do then? In Jesus' name, what for? What for? What for? No more war. No more war. No more war. No more. No more. In Jesus' name.